have been given to the police to stand down and to stay away from any form, of protest or any form of disturbance we have in the city. So by Monday morning, it continued, right? And I felt that we can still further engage. And what were the engagements we were talking about? We had set up a panel, which we inaugurated on Monday, right? And we believe that that panel will immediately get to work. And so that the grievances around the hashtag #EndSARS could immediately commence, and we can bring. Thank you very much. Thank you. So by Tuesday morning, right, we have started seeing destruction, attack specifically at the police station in Orile, where we saw footage, we saw pictures of police officers being killed, being maimed in broad daylight. We saw armory of the police station being infected and we saw arms being cut away from the police station. Thereafter, we saw also another police station at Ifelu Ajero also being attacked all about the same time. Almost immediately, we also saw a local government headquarters in Ajero Ifelu, a 4-story building set ablaze. We saw about 30 to 40 vehicles. We saw pictures of attempts to go into the Tinkan port and the Apapa port, and they were just complete pandemonium, in the whole city. So I needed to consult, and my level of consultation was first with the Commissioner of Police and the members of my security team in the state, which is the Security Council. So it was all phone calls that I had to quickly call around, and then I decided to take the decision that I think we need to impose a curfew, in the state starting from 4 o'clock. And so the whole idea about putting the 4 o'clock there is to trigger the process of people knowing that we need to start going back home or leave our businesses. The day previous, luckily, we've asked that students should not go to school. That's the primary school children and secondary school children. So, so that was the event that led to the announcement of the curfew. And at about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, when we're reviewing that, how are people, trying to get back home? What is the traffic situation? Specifically around the Lekki Toll Plaza now, we actually got footage that at some point they had announced that everybody should go home at about 2 o'clock, that yes, we have a state curfew in the state, and by 4 o'clock, the curfew is meant to start. There are recordings to that effect. So we felt that, right, by 4 o'clock, 4:15, the place will have been sort of like cleared up. But surprisingly, people now started calling themselves back and said, well, we're not leaving. Well, so at about 5:30, I got calls from several others of our opinion pool molders in the state, some parents, some religious leaders, and said we should actually even see how we can extend the starting of the curfew. I said, yes, it makes sense, right? And so I set out notices around 5:30 that maybe the curfew should not start until 9 o'clock. So that was how we started rolling out the communication. And the event that happened at about 7:30, it was just a total shock to me and to everyone around me. I do not know how, we got into that kind of a situation, and it was just something that it was completely unbelievable. When the first call, it was actually one of my cabinet members that was with me. It was a wife that called us and said they were hearing shooting. I said, shooting where? What? He said, no, around Lekki. I said, it's not possible. And we make phone calls around. Nobody said they had sent anybody down. Because the instruction is that police will not be out until 10, 11 p.m. when we believe that almost every of our citizens would have gotten home. So I don't know how, they all got it all wrong or something, but it was just something that I couldn't even explain. Who gave orders, who gave instructions for military to be there? It's still something that we are investigating, and we've escalated this to the highest level in the military formation, right? And it's something that our government has totally condemned. Personally, this is not what I stand for. This is not what I believe. I've been part of a the youths and the
incident happened. And secondly, I'd like to ask you, I mean, is there a point where you engage with the military to be able to apologize to the people, you know, to start the process of reconciliation at least? We saw pictures of the military going on the streets and talking to people yesterday. Is there a point that the high command of the military will do that? But who ordered the removal of the CCTV at the toll gate and turning off the lights before that incident happened? Who ordered that?
Thank you very much. And we'll just speak straight the truth, what happened. Nobody ordered. There were security of LCC on the ground. Because I of LCC that night when I saw the picture. And what he said to me that because of the curfew that has been announced, they took a decision and to say they will take out installations that are critical to them. That camera that you saw, it's not a security camera. That camera that you saw, it's not a motion camera. It's a laser camera for vehicles. When you are approaching the toll plaza, you will remember that there's a camera that is at the level of your car. What that camera does, it picks the tag on your car and it picks your number plate. That's where you get the boom at before you approach when you're on the fast track lane, and you get the boom up so that you can pass. That is what that camera does. It's not a security camera. It's not a camera for human beings or something. It's an infrared camera that just picks the tag on the vehicles. And that's the truth. Security cameras for the Lekki Plaza are still available. These are some of the footage that we're going to use for our own investigation. Security cameras are installed on top of towers, and they are there because I have seen them, and they are live. They are still recorded. Nobody can touch the security camera. That's why they are called security. The camera that they pulled off, it was a decision that the local security company, the local personnel of LCC took in conjunction with their managing director and said that because we're not going to be here, because it's a curfew from tomorrow or from tonight, these are cameras that are low levels when you are driving approach, especially on the left and on the far right-hand side. When you're driving, those are the cameras that you see close to your car, right, that picks the infrared, the tag, infrared on your vehicles. And anybody can come, and these are things that we can transparent as evidence, as it were, so that experts can review and see what kind of cameras are these cameras that were shown at the footage. And I think that is the honest and the truthful position of that. I don't have anything. I mean, the manager of LCC does not even have a reported line to me. I don't talk to him. He doesn't talk to me. The second question around the light. I understand there is also a concessionaire that manages the LED that the state government had put in place. Those were their own reported. Those were their own point. I've never spoken to the owner of that business. Not in the last 1 week. I've never spoken. So there's no communication that will reflect that we influence of. That was a decision that a corporate organization took, right, and said that because of the curfew, they are taking down, their LED screen from the toll plaza, and that was what they reported, and that I believe was the reason, for them turning off the LED screen. I think your second question.
Yeah, at what point will you get the military probably?
Spoken with the chief of army staff, with all that carnage in different parts of Lagos and arson and confusion. Have you had any phone call from the president of Nigeria, or you have been in touch with President Buhari to brief him about the situation in Lagos yesterday so that he can be aware? And if so, what is he saying to you? And in the midst of all of this, despite all your efforts, do you feel frustrated? Do you feel overwhelmed that you've tried so much? You talked to the protesters, you went to Abuja, but still, Lagos has become the center of the anger of the youth.
Well, thank you very much, Ruben. I made phone calls to the president. I made calls to want to speak to the president twice yesterday. First time he hadn't come to the office, and the second time it was at a fake meeting. So I haven't spoken to him directly, but I actually did call to want to speak with him. But like I said, it was at fake meeting, and probably had his briefing. So he was actually the one that asked the chief of defense staff to call me, and I think it was when he got my message, right? So because when the chief of defense staff called me, he said to me, it was the president that asked him to call. So I haven't spoken to him directly. Maybe time later today that might happen. So I don't have the report to say this was what he said or anything, because we haven't spoken. So regarding the level of destruction that we've seen, so those were the levels of escalation that I had to do. Each time I get a report, or each time I see a video trending of the next facility that has been taught. So I was escalating my, well, I won't call it anger, but my attempt to be able to stand and to be able to halt the level of destruction that we're seeing. And also that was what led to all of those calls coming in, right? And I don't understand, I don't know the reportage line or the protocols of the military. How do they come out? How do they, what is their line of change?